Reverend Clifford Davis. I first called him Daddy and then Pastor. And for the entirety of my life, he has shown me how to care for people well, centering faith and love as motivators to do good in the world. And as a Black man from the South, he had many obstacles to prevent him from doing good. Whether being water hosed or sick by dogs during the Civil Rights Movement, faith and love motivated him to fight for what is right. Barbara Ann Davis. I call her Mother, and albeit she is no longer with us, only having leaving this world last year, her commitment to family, standing up for herself, and even stubbornness showed me how to hold my head up and to love others as I love myself. My mother was known for buying clothes and groceries for others, and even having other families to stay with us who were without homes. My name is Johnathan Davis, and I am the Executive Director for Baltimore Crisis Response, Inc. Seeing my family care for people well made me want to care for people well. I went to college to be a doctor, but soon discovered I was more drawn to psychology. I ended up getting a graduate degree in professional counseling. But as I practiced, I realized that albeit I had that desire to care for people from my family, providing direct services through counseling was not my true calling. I wanted to change the system. 2 weeks after George Floyd was murdered, Rashad Brooks was murdered in Atlanta. I was so enraged by these murders that I reached out to then Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms and was appointed to the Use of Force Advisory Council, providing recommendations on police reform. My particular role on the council, leading work streams committed to increased transparency and reporting of police activity. And growing up in the South as a Black kid also meant for me being stopped by white policemen as I walked down the street with my violin case in hand. Not quite a weapon. And I must admit that I had a certain amount of fear and anxiety when it came to police. But this time, this moment, I felt that the system was ready for change in a way that promoted both mental health and public safety. That was my attraction to Baltimore Crisis Response, Inc. But more specifically, our partnership with Baltimore Police Department that ensures that callers to 911 experiencing a behavioral health crisis are diverted to trained mental health clinicians. That's where we come in at. Baltimore Crisis Response, Inc. exists to ensure that people experiencing behavioral health crisis receives the right fit response for their needs, as opposed to being sent to the emergency room or having to deal with police officers who are oftentimes not resourced to help. Our mobile response teams and 988 call centers are staffed by psychiatrists, clinicians, nurses, and people with lived experience to make sure that individuals experiencing behavioral health crisis receives the most appropriate response for their need. And those trained clinicians know if someone needs a therapist. They know if someone needs a police officer, which helps both of those roles do their jobs better. So here's what that could look like. Let's say your name is Peter. Peter just moved from Philadelphia to the great city of Baltimore. Peter's insurance has run out. Peter has a history of depression. Peter is out of medications, and the world feels really bad to Peter. Peter, not knowing who to call for help, calls 911. 911 realizes that Peter is having a behavioral health crisis and that Baltimore Crisis Response Inc. is best suited to support Peter. 911 transfers the call to us. Maybe we send out a mobile response team with a nurse and a clinician. Or maybe we realize that Peter needs to go to the hospital. Maybe one of our psychiatrists intervene. Or maybe we bring Peter back to one of our residential crisis programs. The point is, we're able to stop Peter's spiral in a way that meets him where he's at while saving community resources at the same time. And by making sure that we provide the most appropriate response to Peter based upon his exact mental health need. We don't see Peter experiencing a mental health crisis on the street. We don't see Peter unnecessarily clogging the emergency room. And we don't see Peter in a jail cell. But most importantly, we partner with Peter as he restores dignity in his life and live a life of meaning and purpose. Since the 911 diversion program started, we have diverted nearly 1,000 calls from 911. Can you imagine the hours of police time saved? Can you imagine the crises averted? A recent newspaper article cited that Baltimore Crisis Response Inc. partnership has saved the emergency management system over 20,000 minutes of emergency response time, allowing them to handle matters that they are best suited for as we support people experiencing behavioral health crises. Here in America, suicide attempts and death by suicide are increasing year over year over year. This is a crisis, and there is not a program to fix it. We need a movement. Whether it is EMS, police, fire, housing, we want to change the culture of those departments to put mental health at the table. And you can help by joining our movement today. Thank you.